Hi second graders, we're back on Tuesday with our reading video for today. Yesterday we read an awesome story about a hero named Cesar Chavez who was fighting for better pay for migrant farm workers. And today we are going to be using that story to practice a skill called sequencing. Do you know what it means to sequence something?
I do. It means to put things in order from the beginning to the end. First, next, then last, sequence of events.
Exactly. So we use those transition words, like you said, first, next, then, and last, to help us remember what happened in the story and to kind of put things in order. These are also used when we summarize or we retell something that we've read. Now, interestingly enough, we were learning about Cesar Chavez's life, and in the story, I know it might have been hard while we were playing the video, but there was something called a timeline. And a timeline is going to give a list of all of the events that are happening within a specific range of time. For example, maybe from when you were born until you entered second grade. And it's going to list the date, and it's also going to tell what happened. So if we take a look at our timeline, and you have this page in front of you for a closer look, you're going to notice that there's events such as Cesar Chavez's birthday on here. We're going to find out about when the workers went on a strike and even when he won a medal, which is really cool. And today we're going to use some of those events and we're going to put them in order of time. So we're going to start with one of the first events of his life, and then we're going to try and go all the way down until one of the later events in his life. So Mrs. Grant, if I wanted to know the first thing that happened in Cesar Chavez's life, what do you think I could write about? What do you see on here that's one of the first items?
Well, what you want to do is you want to go to the very beginning of the timeline and find the first event listed, which is 1927, and that is when Cesar Chavez was born. He was born on March 31st, 1927.
Very nice. Okay, so we could actually put that up here on our chart. This is a little tall for me, but I'm going to try. So I'm going to write Cesar, and there's a little, call that an accent over the E. Cesar was born on March, wrong spot, March 31st, 1927. All right, so now I'm noticing something.
Yeah.
I'm noticing that there's only 4 boxes that we need to fill in, but there are many more than 4 ideas on this timeline. So what are we supposed to do when there's so many more?
So you just need to really make sure that whatever you're choosing, they're in the right order.
Okay.
And it can kind of be left up to the student to decide what are the most important events.
Okay.
Like, I remember learning about their family experiencing a drought in Arizona and them moving to California, which happens to be the second event. And that was a really significant event in their life. They moved to a whole nother state where they were really prosperous. So if you wanted to write that, the Chavez family moves to California, that is another big important event. And while she's writing that down and you guys are copying, notice that she's putting the dates that all of those events happened along with what happened. That's important, so that when you're going back and looking at what you did, you can see that 1927 was first, 1939 was a later date. We want to make sure that those dates are in order and you didn't flip any of those around and have one date happen before something else. And as you're looking through the rest of this, we're going to have you guys finish the last 2. We want you to read through the last 2. There's 6 events left in his life. And we want to let you guys choose which of those events you feel like is the most important and write it on the last 2 spots. Just make sure to include the date like we included on the events that we chose. And that's it. So you can do the decision making and we trust your judgment, but just make sure you read them all so you can make an educated decision.
All right, you got this.